Hey, I want to talk to you about 5 things people generally forget to ask, or they ask the wrong questions when it comes to trying to identify who the best global employer of record service provider for their company should be. They forget to ask about the quality of experience. They forget to ask about the pricing model. Is it fixed versus all-inclusive? They forget to ask about the locations. Do they have locations around that can serve my team wherever they're located on the globe or in the United States? Do they understand the compliance laws? And finally, what kind of customer service do they provide? Is it a phone service, or do I actually get an account rep, a real person who I can talk to whenever I need an issue solved? So I want to cover all of that for you right now. My name is Chris. I work at TCW Global. We've been around for over a decade, and we know more because we've seen more. So let's talk about experience first. Don't just go with the first company that pops up in Google search. There are a lot of companies that started up with a lot of funding recently, coming out of the pandemic, because remote work is a really popular thing. But what we're finding is those companies who've been around 1 or 2 years are really putting companies at risk. For example, Guardian.com pointed out that Nike had potentially been facing a $530 million misclassification fine. Handy, the cleaning service, just got fined, according to CBS News, $6 million for misclassifying workers. You do not want that to happen to you because you went with someone who had a shiny website and they popped up first on Google. Make sure you always ask about their level of experience. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the pricing model. Is it fixed versus all-inclusive, or sometimes percentage-based? The fixed is a very popular model that's come out. It's a very low price. It shows, hey, we're gonna hire for $5.99 a worker. But the reality is they're not telling you about all the add-on fees and all the extra things you will eventually have to pay. They don't incorporate payroll taxes, onboarding fees, software fees. And so what you'll discover is, even though you started off thinking it was much cheaper, the all-inclusive fixed pricing or percentage pricing that included all of that stuff is now taking up all your time, because now you have about 22 to 25 different onboarding fees or payroll tax fees or software fees that you have to incorporate into your budget month in and month out. You have to make sure that you're not being overbilled. And so what happens is your budget comes over here, you know what to expect every single month. Over here, it changes all the time. That's what we hear constantly from clients, is that the fixed rate model is somewhat deceiving because you never know how much to budget. You never quite know how much you're being charged. Over here, we're gonna tell you exactly what you're charged every single month, and you can budget, and it's all gonna be inclusive. There's no nickel and diming you. The third thing I wanna talk to you about is customer service. They may have some fancy technology, they may have a shiny website, but are they sending you to a call center when there's a problem? Or do you actually have a rep that you can talk to in the time zone you need to talk to them in, so that they can help you solve a problem? If your job is on the line, do you want to talk to a call center, or do you want to talk to somebody who can help you solve the problem right away? We have locations all over the world. We're in Budapest, or we're in Europe, we're in North America, we're all over, for instance, so that if you have a problem, we're going to be in your time zone. You can pick up the call, you can reference your account manager, and they will help you solve the problem. Which brings me to my fourth point. Location matters. Do they understand the tax laws in that country? Do they understand the implications between bringing somebody on board and relieving them of their work responsibilities? Are they located in a time zone where you can work with them at the same point of contact, so you're not calling them at midnight or hoping to get back to you in the middle of the day? You need to understand that. We have worked with people from everywhere from Zimbabwe to Alabama for over a decade. So we are very familiar with those laws. Don't put yourself at risk by going with someone who doesn't understand the local country laws or anything in between. It's really important. And then finally, compliance. Ask lots of questions. Do they know the difference between an AOR and an EOR? Can they protect you and your liabilities when it comes to hiring remote workers wherever you're located across the globe? Deel, according to an article from BusinessInsider.com, may have misclassified 50% of their workforce, including the CEO. And that is a company who is supposed to know what they're doing. And so you really need to make sure you understand whether the company you're bringing on board for an employer of record knows the compliance rules and regulations, so they can keep you from having to pay fines for misclassifying, keep you from paying fines because you didn't understand the pay transparency laws. So if you're looking for a global employer of record, we recommend us at TCW Global, but wherever you go, make sure you ask those 5 questions, because they're really gonna save you a lot of heartache in the long run.